We're live. All right. Well, now we're live. I don't know if we're live before. I don't really know how this even works. So I talk so that at least you're watching. Do I even like this lighting? I don't know. Let's see. I keep checking it. Hey, we got a viewer. Who's the viewer? It doesn't tell me yet. Welcome to the show. Hey, Nicole. There you are. I don't know why I said there you are. You watched last week, so I'm like, hey, you're watching again. That's so exciting. Welcome to Coffee Breaks Thursdays, everybody. I'm your host, Jason Zlatkus. That's how you say my last name, for those who didn't know. Zlatkus. Zlatkus. I've heard it all kinds of ways, and I've heard it all kinds of spellings with a K, of course Zal, but Zlatkus anyway. And to answer the question, it's Lithuanian. No, I'm born in here. I'm born in America. I'm from California. So, but my grandparents are from Lithuania, and well, they were. I mean, they're no longer with us. But our guest today is a fantastic model, actor. She does everything. She's an activist, an athlete, and philanthropist. So she's going to join us at some point. Of course, we're waiting for producer and director of the show, Warren Madden, to join us. You would think the producer director would be on time, but you know, that's how this goes in the entertainment industry. So of course I have to look at my hair. You know, I use Everyman Jack hair products. Shout out to them for, I don't know if I love my hair today, but I love Everyman Jack hair products. How about that? And I appear in their holiday commercials. So, which was last year. If you were shopping for that kind of product during that time, you would have seen me promoting Everyman Jack and Marvel actually together. So I want to thank them for my hair products. It's great stuff. Hey, Garrett Forge is online. How are you, buddy? Garrett Forge, singer, of course, actor, does just about everything in the business. You know, doing really good. Let's see, what else can I stall for time here? So we're doing Spider-Man on the glass today because last week I did Wonder Woman. So we got to play it even here. We got to do some Marvel. We got to do some DC. I like both. People always ask, "Oh, who's your favorite?" Realistically, it's Marvel though. Let's be serious. It's Marvel, but. You know, I love DC. They have a lot of great characters. And of course, if I'm in any of those movies, it's good. But if I'm not, that's good too. Probably by the time anybody cares about me, Marvel will be like long gone. They'll be like, "Oh, you're in a Marvel movie? Who hasn't been?" You know, like probably by that time. I guess that's a fear as an actor, right? So I don't have anything really coming up. Still waiting on our guest today. But let me tell you, I don't really have much coming up because I moved to LA. I do have, interesting enough, my very first in-person audition in over a year, probably. I mean, obviously, but because of the pandemic. But I have it tomorrow. It's this chair I'm sitting in is sliding away. I have an in-person audition tomorrow, so it's going to be fun. I'm not really sure even what to expect anymore. Like it's been so long since I've had an in-person audition. So I'm still waiting again for our guest, Francesca Esker, who is also in the movie Coffee Breaks, which is why we have Coffee Breaks Thursdays, is to get to meet the cast and the crew and those people involved with the film Coffee Breaks. We are still casting, oddly enough, because people have dropped out. You know, personal things come up in acting and that kind of stuff. So you never know. Our producer, person who got me hooked up in that project is Warren Madden. Waiting for him to come on. I'm sort of repeating myself at this point. You know, I've been enjoying some of the Olympic stuff. I have a friend who I went to high school with who hosts the NBC. He's a commentator for NBC, and he does the track and field. He's a silver medalist, Otto Bolden, and some of you guys who went to high school with me watching the show know him. And yeah, he's pretty famous. And hey, I think there's Warren. Is that you on there? My thing hasn't told me. Are you here? If you're here, like make some noise or text or do something. You're the producer. Or do something, so you know what's going on. Anyway, My thing here in Los Angeles is really just to meet people, get connected. That's what I'm doing. That's what's been advised to me. And I'm not really rushing in, but at the same time, right? Like I'm really eager to work. So, okay, Warren is here. I'm glad to see you're here. And, Warren, we're waiting on Francesca. Of course, we knew today she'd probably be a few minutes late. But we're discussing how you're sort of the producer or the handler, maybe even the casting. I don't know if you're the casting director per se, but you're definitely the guy who gets people involved in movies. So that's good to have you. That's sort of my connection to the film. So LA's been a new adjustment for me. It's different here in Southern California, and it's not all that different from Northern California, really. It's not all that different, but I'll say that I run into more discouraged actors here than I run into in the Bay Area. Like in the Bay Area, everybody's like, yeah, man, you're doing good, and all this stuff. And people here are like, oh, that's never going to get you found. That's never going to work. And that's never, and that's just not true. That's just not true. I mean, there's more than one way to success. And that's the thing about me is that I just don't think that you can't do it or you can't do it that way or, you can't play baseball and football at the same time. I mean, we've been shown that that's not the case. So, that's sort of the thing and so I think that as an actor, I don't let that get me down, but that's one thing I've noticed here as an actor is there's a lot of discouraged actors here. There's a lot of people saying, oh, that's not how it goes, or that's not how you're going to do it, or and then I want to mention I had lunch this week with John Lair, who, as you all know, everyone knows, he's the original Geico caveman, and he's a friend of mine. And I want to thank Warren again. Warren's the producer; he's the magic man. He made it happen for us, and Warren and put me in touch with John, and John and I became friends, and we met this week, and we were talking about things. And I'll tell you, that guy, the guy, he's the most positive guy I've ever met. Like, you can't, I even said to him, well, what if I don't have this? No, man, you got to, just do it, get involved. And so I'm saying that the Geico caveman told me that you could do anything. And there's no one path, and I knew that to be the answer. But this week, what I'm telling you is the guy is amazing. There's a reason he's as successful as he is. And it's because he can't be stopped. And that's my belief. I mean, we're going to go out there, we're going to do it. Maybe I'm that guy. Maybe I'm that 1 in a million. How do I know I'm not? My track record has proven I am. All I ever wanted to be was on the cover of this toy magazine growing up, and I made it. And so for me, the toy industry, I wanted to have a store. I did all these things. And now in the acting business, I'm like having the time of my life. I can't believe it. So for me, I'm saying you got to get out there and do it. And I want to thank John Lair again for really putting me. This week I needed to get centered, and he really did that for me. We met in House of Pies in Los Angeles, and it was pretty good. People are like, oh my God, it's the best. You got to go to House of Pies. You got to go to House of Pies. And I'm saying, well, I've been to Denny's. Like, I don't understand. So maybe that's the NorCaler in me that doesn't care. I don't know. I guess I feel like there's some spots in NorCal you have to go, I guess. Shout out to Nick's Pizza in Oakland. Literally the best pizza I've ever had was at Nick's Pizza in Oakland. So again, we're still waiting on our guest. This is Coffee Breaks Thursdays, and I'll just keep talking. As you know, I can literally just talk. It's what I do. So fun fact, when I was a child, I was, and I've never shared this on any platform or whatever, but as a child, I was the class clown, and my mother didn't know how to handle me. I'm going to tell the story before my mom logs on at her lunch, but my mom didn't know how to handle me, and she told the teachers, she went to a therapist or whatever, and the guy said, oh, you got to call attention to him. So the teacher, when I would get up in second grade and flick the light switch on and off during class, the teacher would go, everybody look at Jason. And so that sort of like would embarrass me and then stop me from doing it. Or it trained me for the position I'm in today, because now I'm all about everybody look at Jason. So I don't know how that worked out. Now I'll be flicking the lights on and off all the time. I mean, like, I don't even care. Like, we're at the beach. One of my favorite things to do One of my favorite things to do. I saw this guy do it once, and I went, "Oh my god, I got to do that." And so I might have stolen it. I don't even remember how I got it. I was so young. But I've been doing it for like, 40 years now. Well, it wasn't so funny when I was a kid, but now that I'm an adult, it's really hysterical. But I go into movies and say, in full packed theaters, and has anybody seen my mom? And you know what? And now that I think about it, has anyone seen my mom lately? Like, I mean, my mom I'm old enough now that maybe has anyone seen my mom could be a real question. So maybe that joke only has its like 10-year period where you could do that. So maybe that's a joke when you're in your 30s. I don't know. But to me, I've always loved that joke. It's definitely one of my favorite jokes in the whole world. And it's so immature, which is probably why I love it. The other joke I love is, and I say it all the time. Again, I shouldn't be admitting this in public, you guys, but if you watch the show, this is how it is, right? And I'm stalling because we're waiting for our guest. And once our guest gets here, the show will get more interesting. But for now, my favorite joke in the whole world is does your face hurt? And they go, no. And I go, well, it's killing me. And it's a childish joke. It's a childish joke, but I love that joke. So if I do it to you, I'm probably likely to do that to you. It's just something I do. It's like a terrible joke. Now we're losing our audience even. So that's obviously a really bad joke. Maybe I should stop telling childhood ridiculous jokes on camera. Okay, so back to coffee breaks. I play Michael, and I guess I'm the star of the film. That's what they tell me. I guess I'm the starring role. I'm certainly not the biggest name in the movie. But, because we got the guy called Caveman John Lair, we got Jerry Superian, who was on Small Wonder, we got Scott Crane, Celine Alva, Liz Fletcher. There's people who are doing really big things. We got Wesley Ure, we got Kathy Coleman, who were both in Land of the Lost. So this film is really coming together. We've got Matt Sly as the director. I really want to talk about the script. It's something I always do. The script is fantastic, and I've read a lot of scripts, and not all of them get me. They're like, you know what? I don't want to do that role. Or this isn't my favorite. Let me take a moment to shout out Jared Becker. That guy is working. Good for you, brother. I see you. Drink to you. Right on, right on. Hopefully we can get together someday. We're both from the same area, so he moved out here first. I followed in his footsteps. So shout out to Jared Becker. Good for you and everything. It's nice to see Bay Area people rocking it. So back to coffee breaks though. It's a fantastic role. It's a fantastic script, and I'm really excited to be part of it. Again, we're Coffee Breaks Thursday, and we're waiting for our guest. Francesca Esker is joining us. And I really want you to encourage you to hang on for our guest, because she's an activist, she's an actress, she's a model, a fashion designer. She does pretty much everything, and in this business, I guess sometimes you have to. Many of us are multi-talented, I have one talent, and it's talk a lot. So here it is, doing my thing. Taking a sip there. And we're just waiting here. So, the thing is that as an actor, you sort of never know. And as the host of the show, you just sort of never know. Let's see what time it is. She's 15 minutes late, I guess. I've been talking for 15 minutes. That is wild. So, Warren says maybe me and Jerry can meet up. That's the thing is right now, I'm definitely looking for meetups and networking and that stuff. Like I said, I'm really taking it slow. As an actor here, I don't have any reason to rush in. I don't need the money. I'm not in it for the money. Francesca is on, so as soon as it tells me that she's here, we're gonna bring her on. But I'm not in it for the money, And yeah, I want to get paid. Let's not go there, right? But but realistically, I do it for the love. I do it for I do it for the perks. I love to be treated special. That's sort of my thing. I'm still waiting for this thing to tell me that Francesca is watching. I'm not sure how this works. Forgive me just a moment. I'm going to see if I can bring her on camera here. There she is. Okay. Add. Okay, hopefully that's going to bring her on camera. And once it does, we'll get the show started.
Hey!
There you are. Hey!
That's so sorry. I was like laughing because you're like, I'm waiting for Francesca to be on. I'm like, I've been on for 5 minutes. I guess it didn't tell you.
It does not tell me, no, and that's unfortunate. If it had told me, then so I apologize. So I had to blow my own hot air for 5 minutes there, so no worries. You got a little
You had the
taste
microphone.
of yeah. So you got a little taste of how the show goes.
Cool. I was just like enjoying what you were saying too. So I was like, oh my gosh, and I was like, oh my gosh, now he's waiting for me to sign on, and I've been on.
Yeah, so I'm glad you gave the gesture thumbs up thing, because then I noticed, right? So yeah, there's nothing I love more than hearing my own self talk. So I'm glad you enjoyed it as much as I did. So that's good. Yeah. So welcome to Coffee Breaks Thursday. You are Francesca Esker playing Mom in the movie, in the film. Mom is technically the yard sale mom.
Yeah.
You've been recently added to the cast. So before we get into all your many things, you know, all the stuff you do, and you go by a nickname. Do you want to be Sunshine on the show? Like, how does, or you want to be Francesca? I mean, your professional name. How does that work?
I mean, if they want to write in the script Sunshine, that would be cool too. But that was just like, it's like a nickname from like a while ago. Sometimes people just call me that. Yeah.
Nope. Nobody calls you that anymore?
It's been a while. Yeah, I think it's been a while. I think it's been a couple of years. Sometimes it comes out once in a while, you know. People are like, hi, Sunshine, how's it going?
It was written on your, look at my producer's papers, they give me are old. But it was written on your IMDb that your nickname is Sunshine. So I guess that's not true.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like, I had a friend that like built that IMDb with me. And like, that was like, I say old school. It's like, it's from like, when I did a lot of like pinup modeling, and we have like pinup names. So mine was Sunshine, and it was because I asked someone, I was like, why is it Sunshine? It's because I always had like a very fun, energetic type of personality. I guess like people just like, you light the room up like sunshine. So that's where the name came from.
Okay, so I definitely want to come back to the pinup modeling, but let's talk about first how you came in contact to be on Coffee Breaks.
Well, I know somebody hit me up, and it was on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn, okay.
Yeah.
So was it Matt, the director, or was it Warren?
Matt. Yeah, it was
Matt. Okay.
I believe so. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm like, I've been talking to so many people in the last week, so I'm just like catching up with everybody. But yeah, it was a really, really cool opportunity that just like popped up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I have this. Like, you know, like I built this long time ago. Someone told me, I had someone give me, I'm not gonna tell me, but someone gave me some instructions to like, oh, you should try this. And I did it, and it worked. And so it's kind of cool that, you know, we're all in the same mix. I'm trying to think, maybe I don't know if I met the director from somewhere else and we just networked on there, or.
Well, I know, and Liz Fletcher's watching. She plays Alicia in the film. She also was contacted from LinkedIn by Matt.
Yeah.
Because I ask everybody on the show, how'd you get involved in the movie? And so, yeah, LinkedIn, I mean, it's sort of amazing how all these different social networks, because I got involved through Facebook. And, you know, so I guess it just sort of, you know, it can be all over the place. But Facebook is my main, like, go-to platform for, probably because I'm old, I use Facebook. That's what the kids tell me anyway. You know, right? Well, they don't tell me I'm old. They tell me old people use Facebook.
Yeah, we say old school. We don't say old.
Old school. That's it.
I'm
right.
old school.
I'm old school. You forgot the school part, kids. Yeah. So, okay. So you're a pinup model. Are you? And is that something you're still doing, or is that something? Again, my information could be old. So is that something you still do?
Oh, I'll tell you this. If I try to run away from it, it just follows me. Like somehow, like I attract like classic cars. I still attract like photographers. I still attract like vintage fashion. Like, you know, so it's like, even if I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, something just keeps following me, but you know, you love me, you know?
Right. You know, that's sort of me in modeling. I try not to do the modeling, but then I always get back into it because someone, you know, will ask me and I just do it, you know?
Yeah.
But being asked, I think that's really all I want to hear.
Oh,
you know?
so cool though. I mean, at least, I mean, it's a compliment because you just said like you're old. So it's like saying that you're still like, you know, you still got it. Like, and to me at modeling, there's no age. Okay. So
right.
A lot of times people think, oh, I gotta be like young. And I go look when I'm like, no, this year, like the modeling industry is changing so much. And it's like, we need all those demographics of like you might be this certain age. I don't know your age. You might be a yeah,
You just cut out there, but
you just can't, like, you can't say, well, because I'm, in my 30s, no one's gonna pick me. You never know. You're perfect. You're perfect for that designer. You're perfect for that target market. So it's really cool that that door is still opening.
right. And yeah, I mean, there is, and like I like what you said. You said that the demographic is changing, and that's definitely true. I'm seeing a lot more shows catering to, different size girls, those kind of things. And what I mean by that is more of like diversity, more inclusivity, as far as the
Yeah.
shows go. And, there's still those ones that
Okay, yeah, I'm hoping it. Let me look up. I think my Wi-Fi is good. Where is it at?
it's mine for sure. It just told
Okay,
me.
okay, okay. Because I'm like, I
Yeah.
need to turn off Wi-Fi and just do it through my phone. Sometimes that helps. So if it's me, I'm sorry.
No, no, no. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. So anyway, yeah, with the modeling thing, it's I'm starting to see more shows that cater to that. So as far as diversity goes, you were Miss Diversity. uh, Like how many times? Two, three, like all the time? Like you're really good at it, right? Like so, how many times were you Miss Diversity?
Okay, so Miss Diversity, it was a pageant. It was like kind of like one of my first like official pageants, and part of like the whole pinup modeling thing. I did a lot of pinup girl pageants too, which were different than the actual physical pageant pageant competitions. I started to learn more like about pageants. Like it's about sisterhood. It's about like getting businesses involved, networking. Um, I got to meet, like, actually that experience was really cool because it actually opened a lot of doors that I got to be on red carpet to interview celebrities through like film festivals. So like this person who had this pageant, I don't know, he had this like idea and this vision, and he's like, I want to empower women on the red carpet, so or with whatever he was producing and doing for himself in the film industry. So I did this pageant, and it was like the coolest experience because like sometimes you go into pageants like it's all mindset. Like you think like, oh, there's gonna be other girls, and I'm not gonna win, and I don't have any sponsors. But I'm so happy that I went forth and I actually competed in this, and it actually like started something pretty big. Like since I came from Reseda and I knew the Reseda City Council, they actually renamed the city a little slogan, and I know it was posted for a couple of years, but they posted no, sorry, they posted diversity lives here, and that was because I won Miss Diversity. So they were like, let's rename a slogan so we can like expand this whole great thing of like it's not just one person that lives here in Reseda, like one type of person. So yeah, it was really interesting competition and really exciting and fun.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Like to get to do that. So a lot like so as an actor, right? I think sometimes like, oh man, why am I trying for this part or why am I doing that?
Yeah.
Because maybe I'm not the guy or whatever. But again, right? How do you know if you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? Like I think that's what you're saying. I mean, am I hearing that right? That's what you're saying to
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's like to me personally, I think it's like a mindset thing, because like even like I meet some people who are like, that you can say they're actors or maybe they have a special gift, like dancers and singers, and they won't go to an event or they won't go do something that's like so last minute because it's scary. You think like, oh,
yeah,
I'm unprepared, or what if I like fumble on my words, or what if I trip? That's my thing. What if I trip on
right.
a cord?
As a model, as a runway model, that's real. I
Yes,
mean that could
exactly.
happen.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
how did you make the transition? Because for me, I was a model, started as a model,
Yeah.
and did a commercial, and then decided I kind of liked that film thing, and then I just sort of took a shot at films, and I got hired. So
Wow.
how did you make the leap to? It wasn't like that, I guess. So how did you make the leap to
It
from
was it
modeling to film or vice versa?
I would say it was like two different things at the same time that was happening. Like um in the middle of my pageant, I was still working at a retirement home. I was working at Motion Picture Television Fund, and I was a waitress there. And I was there for about 3 years. And so I was surrounded by retired industry. So I would just always hear these wonderful stories. And some of them knew that I was into the whole, like, I would say pinup modeling, but in their eyes, it's like, oh my gosh, you're like one of us. Because it's like in their time of the whole vintage era, and the modeling was different back then, you know, like the swimsuits were like one piece swimsuits, you know?
Right.
And so I felt really like encouraged by them. And I would always hear, they're like, what are you doing here? You're too pretty. You need to be in Hollywood. And I would just be like, oh, you're funny. Like, if I did that, who's going to serve you dinner, you know? And so, but that place gave me like so much room to grow. And I got to like showcase my own, like, it was like a fashion show, but I did like an entertainment show. And I called it the Era of Vintage. And I can't even believe this. I wasn't even trained for this. I just like kind of like, I'm going to plan this and I'm going to make it happen. And I produced this like really cool show. Like I hired my own performers. I did my whole wardrobe myself. I did the whole lineup. And sometimes I will tell you that honestly, it did not turn out perfect, like the way I planned it, but it doesn't matter because the retired industry who watched it, I had so many of them show up that day when we put the show on that I heard nothing but good things. I heard a little, you know, corrective criticism. I think you could have done this better. And I'm like, you're right. I did not do good at that. I need to learn. This is my first time doing this. And so I felt like in that middle of producing and then being in a competition, and then the competition opened up a scholarship deal with a acting coach. And so I just, like, here I was in a room with other wonderful actors, like they're way ahead of me, they were so amazing, and I just felt like I love this, I want to do this, you know?
Right.
And if I fail, I fail, but at least I said I tried, you know?
Right. And you've done I looked at your IMDb a little bit. You have other films. It was hard to tell. You've done 2 other films?
Oh yeah, like really, they're, I say small, but they're like independent films. Like some of them like was part of like networking, you know, like
right.
So I eventually left motion picture television fund, and I was working like, I was like, my first thing that I was ever signed up for an agency was Central Casting. So I was working in background and background acting, and I was meeting other actors, and I was just networking, and there were some funny moments that would happen in the behind the scenes that no one gets to see, you know? And I just feel like, you know, the right energy attracts the right type of, you know, people. And I would laugh at certain things that would happen because I'm not used to this industry. I'd be like, did that really happen? That's so weird and random. And I would connect with other people who saw the same thing, maybe if there were, you know, comedians or, you know, really positive people. And I don't know, but they would always think about me, like always think of me, like, oh, I know somebody who can like be perfect for that part. So like, that's how some of my projects came, is just talking to people and networking and just putting myself out there, even if I'm like, I don't know how to do this. No one's ever trained me how to do this, you know?
Right,
but,
sure.
But yeah, it's always, I mean, personally, I always feel like I always tell people, thank you so much for thinking of me. Because there's so many of us out there, you know?
Yeah. So, right, no doubt. I think that, again, you know, I always say this, you know, acting is about who you know, right? It's like, you know, oh, you're successful. And, you know, and I use that term successful, you know, lightly, but, you know, who did you know? It's really about that. Because we've all seen, you know, movies that don't have necessarily the best actors in the world in them. And so, you know, it's one of those things that you don't necessarily have to be the best actor in the world. And I'm not saying you're not, I don't know, but I'm probably not. So, you know, I'm saying that we could still get found, you know, and I don't think there's anything. I was reading this thing yesterday, and you said, well, they're just independent films, you know, and I don't think there's any, you know, we can't all be A-listers, and maybe, you know, in my case, even I don't necessarily want to be. So I think that when we're talking about any level, if you're paid to do it, then that makes you a professional actor.
Yes.
Right. So, you know, even it can be a student film, it can be, you know, an independent film. If they pay you to do it, you don't necessarily, right now, even,
non-union, people keep saying, you know, oh, you're non-union, you're non-union. I'm like, well, yeah. And they're like,
What's the
well,
difference?
that's the best thing to be. Well, but they keep telling me, oh, it's so good to be non-union right now because all the jobs are non-union. And I'm going, yeah, but you know, so I guess it's all different levels. So you don't even have to be union to say, per se, be successful, I guess. But I think as an actor, is the goal to be union? Do you feel that way?
I mean, when I talk to other people, like I think personally, like what I've experienced and it's exactly knowing who you are. Like even if your journey, like even if I become an A-lister, it's like you want to reflect and feel like I worked really hard and I remember where I started, you know, and that wasn't really my goal. You know, my goal was to become an artist. My goal was to become a real, like what we experience, a real actor, you know, like
Right.
paid, like even if it's small gigs, like it's still that's how I feel when I do background. I mean, I'm excited when I get booked on something, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, that means I'm a professional paid actor. And even if they're like, hey, background, are you background? I'm like, yes, but I'm an actor. You know, so I like to throw that in there. But I really do. I feel like I do feel like there's a lot of pressure. I feel like there's a lot of pressure that people think that if you're not union, if you're not with the union, you're not on your level of success. Like maybe why don't you want to join the union? Aren't you eligible? Yeah, I could get a big commercial, right? I could get paid a lot of money, but also I have to think about all the projects that I might have to deny it because they're independent film. They might not be with the union, and being union has certain rules, you know.
Right. So you could get
unionized.
You could get unionized from a commercial and then be ruled out of film, which might be what you want to do. So I think you have to play that. I mean, what is your goal? Film, commercial, any of it? Like you said, you're just happy to be booked. Like, how does it, where do you sort of end up?
Where I want to end up or where I'm always booked?
Where do you want to end up? What do you see? What are you hoping? Like, what's the goal? Because for me, it's to work on films.
Right.
Whether it's independent films or something for Netflix or something in the theater, I want to make movies.
Yeah.
So like, what's your passion?
Yeah, I would say, you know, I do get booked on a lot of TV shows, like currently, but I would like to, I mean, I love TV shows. I feel like people like, how do I say it? I feel like people watch more TV shows instead of like movies, but I would like to book a couple movies in my lifetime, but I definitely would love to see a growth in my career of like yeah, the background is kind of like, hey, at least I'm booked, you know, like I'm making income doing what I love. But I do want to become some type of role that might be inspiring to other people, you know?
Right.
You know, like something that makes an impact. Because you watch certain actors and you're just like, man, dude, he's so convincing. It just makes me want to go to medical school. You know? You know, like people get inspired by movies and even television. We got young people who watch these things and say, man, I wonder if general hospitals, like, if that's really real what doctors go through. And some people want to become a doctor because they watch a TV show, you know?
Right. So you want to do a role that sort of inspires someone in their life, in their career, maybe not even to become an actor, but maybe to be anything, sort of just like I saw your performance and it, you know, like a song, maybe like, oh, it touched me, or, you know, because I think I would feel that way if I wrote a song and somebody was like, you know, man, that really got me, you know, like, and you're a singer? Is that, do you also sing?
I'm still in training because I know I get a lot of people are like, have you shared anything? And I'm like, you know, I'm still in training. I feel like right now what I'm looking for is like finding my voice, not finding the voice that I want to be in the world because I feel like everyone's approving that voice. What is my personal voice? And what do I go to? What do I love to do? How do I like to sing? And I have like one coach that's really amazing about that. She's very empowering about that. She says things like, you're not an Ariana Grande, you are a Francesca. Like, you need to be in your own voice. And then I have another coach that works on with, you know, pitches, that works on air, that works on just things that we might have not noticed that we do when we sing. or like things that might be challenging. Like, okay, if I can't hold my note or that note goes a little flat, what is the problem? You know, oh, it's the breathing problem. Where's the breathing coming from? It's coming from my mental psychology making me think that I can't do it. You know, so it's just like, it never knew that singing could have so much work. You know, I did it in high school. I did it in middle school. Kind of just stopped doing it in the younger adult years. Well, I'm not like old, but you know, like when I was saying, when I was 18, 25, I wasn't really singing. And then I went back to singing because I started to get involved with my church. It was more like soul, gospel, and free. Like, you know, they're not sitting there telling me like you were off. You know, your pitch was off. They just let you let loose. You know.
Right.
So
Right.
So I'm like, scale 1 through 10, 10 being I'm super comfortable singing in public, and 1, I would say I'm like a 6 to a 7. Like I can do it, but I haven't really fully trust myself to be like let loose and not care, you know?
Right. Do you go like, and this might be hokey sounding, but do you like go to karaoke bars and practice, or try to like get in front of some kind of audience at all? Or do you just, are you strictly like in your house or your studio, or you're with your trainer or whatever?
Yeah, I haven't done karaoke. I would say like I had these like
And that's not to minimize as a singer, you're saying you need karaoke. It's just a
I
question
mean
for
karaoke live. Like I've done karaoke, but like my goal is to stand in front of these people and sing the song as best as I can. You know what I mean? Like
right.
without even thinking that there's people watching me. I have not done that. I've only done maybe some live, like I'll get live on Instagram and do it. I know I've done a couple songs for like influencers, like when it was their birthday or whatever, I would send them something, or, oh yeah, I can sing it. I would sing a line to them, you know, like that.
Right.
I've been very fearless. I've posted some things on YouTube, but it's like me working with my teachers. So like, and that was part of our homework, but I also wanted to take that leap of like, I'm going to put it out.
I can't hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, there was a phone call coming in. I'm sorry, I didn't put it in airplane mode.
Oh, it's all right. All day. It happens
So
to me.
I'm like, leave me alone. Like, what's the saying about working with like live influencers? Oh shoot! Now, bam, it's gone. Just forgot.
That happens. Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Let's see if I
Maybe
can
I'm
adjust my
off the
camera
voice,
angle there.
so that's good.
So, tell us a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about what do you have coming up. What do you have on the plate? I think I saw a couple things. You were booked on something pretty cool. I can't remember now, but tell me what you got coming up.
Well, let's say like the last booking was Alter Ego, which was like super cool. That was super cool to watch. Can't really say much about it because I will get in trouble. But all I can say is like everyone's gotta watch that show. Like I hope it looks amazing on TV as it did live. Because live.
And where's that going to air? Where are we going to be able to see that?
Let's see. It was filmed at CBS. It was Fox.
It's Fox. Okay.
Yeah, Fox. I remember her saying Fox a lot. Yeah.
Okay. She said Fox a lot. Cool. So that was probably it.
She said Fox a lot.
She said
Yeah.
Fox a lot. So
yeah,
that's probably it.
It's going to be on Fox. And I know they already have like an announcement on Instagram, so I'm allowed to say this, but I think Alanis Morissette produced it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because I saw Alanis Morissette was like tagged a lot. And of course, there was a piece of me like, I didn't know she was here. You know, like I didn't know Alanis.
Yeah.
Morissette. I love Alanis Morissette. So,
I had an audition for her one of the videos for The Reasons I Drink, one of her songs, and I had an audition for the video, but I didn't get it because they wanted people who looked like really old and haggard, and that wasn't me.
You look super attractive and like, yeah.
Thank you. They, yeah. You know, as a male model, I have to draw the line. So Alanis didn't hire me because I looked too good. Oh well.
You know, okay. So was it for her music video?
Yeah, it was for the music video for The Reasons I Drink. Yeah, and
Oh
then that's the name of the
wow.
song. And then it's actually this really amazing song. It's like so incredible. I really wanted to be part of it, but I wasn't the right look. When I saw the video, because I came out of the audition, I'm like, yes. And then I'm like, oh, they never called me. And then I saw the video get produced, and I was like, oh, well, I wasn't right for it. That makes sense. They wanted people who were
Oh wow.
older looking. They're supposed to be alcoholics uh, in an AA meeting type setting, in a group counseling type session. And
Wow.
I didn't look like, they wanted somebody who looked really sort of beat down by life, and that wasn't me, you know.
Wow. Now,
So
not getting off this subject, but do you like when you see that and reflect on that? Like, especially I feel like as actors, we can be kind of hard on ourselves, like when we don't get in the audition. And even though,
yeah,
like, I did amazing, I felt confident, I feel good. And then you're like, I never got a call back. In that
right,
moment, like, what do you do? Like, you haven't seen what they were looking for, right? So you got the end
right.
result pretty soon that made you feel better. But the in between spot where you're like, they didn't call me back. Like, what do you do? Like, I know you're interviewing me, but I'm curious with like,
Oh no,
what,
no, it's all good. It's
what do
more of
you
a
do as an
conversation.
actor? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really glad you asked that, because it took me years, and I haven't been acting that long. So when I say years, like almost my whole time, to understand that if I didn't get the role, I wasn't right for it. And that all I can do is sort of leave my best on the table. And I've had a bad audition where I got the part, like, or what I thought was a bad audition. So at this point, I'm sort of a let go and let God kind of guy. And that doesn't mean I don't go home and think about it. That doesn't mean I don't go home and go, I could have done it this way. I was too fast. I knew it. I should have done it that way. It doesn't mean I don't do those things, but I'm getting quicker to just be like, okay, man, learn from it. Try to do it better next time, and then move on. So I basically, like, I'm better about auditioning and forgetting about it, but I wouldn't say I'm great at it. I would say it. Okay, here's another word I try to do is I try to convince myself every job doesn't matter. That every job only pays, minimum wage or whatever. So if I don't get it, it doesn't matter. Like, I try to, like, mental game myself to like get out of stuff, because the truth is I am a tripper, and I'm an overthinker, and I am an intense guy. So for me, it's like, well, of course I was too fast. Like, I know better, and ultimately what it comes down to every time is the more relaxed I am, the more I'm myself, the better I do. And so
Yeah.
I just
Great.
I just have to, like, let it go. And if I was too fast, then I was, like
Yeah.
I just got hired this week. I joined this, like, now that I'm back in Southern California here, well, not back, now that I'm now in Southern California, I'm taking commercials again. I stopped doing commercials because I was in San Francisco and I didn't want to become the commercial guy. I just want to make movies. But here, it doesn't seem to matter. Here, I can do all kinds of stuff. So I got hired for this e-commerce thing where you sell shorts and different things, lifestyle stuff, lifestyle modeling, lifestyle print, that kind of stuff. And it pays really well. So I went ahead and did it. And it was 3 parts audition. And I totally blew the first part. And I was like, oh, I'm done for. Like, and then I just killed it on the second 2 parts when I was like, whatever. Once I was like, oh, I've already blown it, who cares? Then it didn't matter. So I have to walk into every audition now just being like, I probably blew it. Like, like, so my point is, and then they hired me. Then they were like, oh, we'll get back to you. And then they got back to me like 2 days. And I was like, whoa, like, I was like, oh, I guess they really liked me, so that was exciting. And, maybe nothing will ever come of it. But the point is that the more I let go, the more I just do the thing, the better I am, really.
Yeah. Yeah,
To
that's
answer your
true.
question.
Yeah, that's true. I think, like, I had someone teach something amazing to me that we can be our worst inner critic. So, like, we might overthink something, and we might break it down saying, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. But the people on the other side are really not doing that, or they might be,
Right.
we just don't know. But But like she said something like that, and it's like, it was like, to me, the best thing, best medicine to hear is, oh, you're probably right. Like, here I am looking at little details that somebody might not even see, or they might admire those little details that I'm like, oh crap, I shouldn't have done that,
Right. Or like my wife will watch it and go, oh, Jay, you do that thing. And I'm like, well, no one else saw that. And now I'm also conscious, because, because someone who knows me, someone who knows me well enough, I'm just making something up, but, but someone who knows me well enough, somebody who knows me well enough will see it and other people won't. And I do the same thing. I see it and, and then I go, well, you saw that, of course. And they go, no one saw that. And I was like, oh, like, so I am my worst critic,
wow.
and, and I think people close to me can see things I do on film that I do in real life that other people won't see.
Right.
So, but how much then, when you hear those things, or when you criticize yourself, then as an actor, you asked me a similar question, but as an actor, then what do you do? I mean, at some point you have to either learn from it, or do you just continue to beat yourself up? Like, that's what I do. Like, I often continue to beat myself up, sort of into submission. Like what do you do with those critiques that you give yourself?
Like, I can use one as an example. We did we had to do it in my own place, a submission video for for a song, and I thought I rehearsed it pretty well. I thought I was doing well, and then there were in our live recording, I already knew, in the middle, no, that wasn't good, let's do it over again. That wasn't good, let's do it over again.
Right.
And towards the end, I said, okay, I think I did it pretty well. And then I watched it, and there's things that I just look and I go, oh my God, I did that. And I just start laughing at myself. You know what I mean? I learned to laugh at myself. Because sometimes, I see things, and I think, we're so serious in that video, but when I watch it, I look hilarious,
I agree. Yeah,
Like,
I did the same thing.
Why was I looking that way? That looks, And but the thing is too, is I guess I've learned in that time, or in that situation, I learned to laugh at myself when it's myself. And I know someone taught me that when I was a child, but I was really, really hard on myself just from background and from people that I've been around that weren't really good for me. And so I had to reprogram myself to find things humorous, find I do things that are funny and I say things that are funny and I don't realize I'm doing that, And I guess other things that I tell myself, even in that situation, I said, that probably wasn't as well as I wanted it. But you know what? It was my first live recording for a song. That beat maybe a little too fast for me. So I should have trained a little harder for it. But you know what? I already submitted the video, but if I want to put it on YouTube, maybe I could just start over and do it again. You know what I mean? I can always, practice makes perfect. And so I guess that's how I talked to myself for the last week, or even when we put it on again, we're trying to perfect the same video. And I'm like, no, I need to do it over again.
Right. Right. So, when I do self-tapes, right, like you said, I can correct it. But as soon as I get in front of the audience, or as soon as I get in front of then I just go back and do this horrible thing that I was training not to do. I'm don't say it like that. As soon as I get on stage, I say it like that. Why did you do that? I should have known better, even though I practiced it. And then even now I watch clips from my reel that I show people and I go, oh, I would have done that totally different now,
Wow.
Seeing it later. And I don't know that a lot of people, I think about it, I have this one line where I'm like, are you guys sure you know what you're doing? And I would totally say it different now. Now I would say are you sure you know what you're doing? No, I'm just playing. I wouldn't say it like that, but.
But I always say this, and I even said this to my friend today. I said being considered you want to be an actor, you want to be an artist. It takes time. Artists evolve. Artists make mistakes. Maybe you have to go through something even personal to know something about yourself. you know.
You know, you know what? That's really true. I think I often wonder as an actor, do we need something that is traumatic in our lives in order to reach those depths? Like do like actors, like, I don't know that anything ever happened to Tom Cruise that was traumatic and he's like amazing. I don't know, right? Maybe something did. I mean, I don't know, but do
Yeah.
we need, you know, I'm sure somebody died in his family. I'm sure, you know, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like as an actor, do we need those things to sort of reflect on, to pull from?
I feel like it helps. Like, but you also know in your style, like, you know, are you a method actor? You know, maybe as a method actor, you need to, you put yourself in that situation, you put yourself in that person's shoes, and you transform yourself to be that person. So to be able to do that, like, I know personally, I can relive my experiences and put myself back in that spot. But also, we know it can be a very dangerous spot too, you know, because you're reliving trauma. So you have to know grounding and tricks of the trade of like how to, like, you know, do proper self-care and coping. You know, if it's working on a TV show that you're really reliving the experience, or doing theater that you're reliving the experience. And a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people like think about that, like, inner depth of like what is important, like, to do, like, as an actor and be a healthy actor. Like like what do we need to do to put ourselves in that person's shoes? Like, I'm not who I am. I'm that person. I'm that character. And I know it's helped me. I mean, it's helped me get to a level maybe of like um feeling that emotion, or maybe feeling that empathy, but also it's helped me with like situations, even with comedy, you know, is having this
Well,
really.
well, let me ask you, before we get to the comedy part, because you're on, I like what you're talking about, the emotional thing and everything. Can you go too far as an actor? Like, you know, God forbid Heath Ledger, or God forbid, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you go too far as an actor in a character like that? When you're reliving, as you talk about, like we do, can
Yeah.
you go too far? Sometimes if I think too hard, I can't stop crying. Like I like ruin the shot. I can't stop crying, right? So and I've never done that per se, but you know, I've done it in auditions and stuff. So uh, can we go too far as an actor? Can you
Listen,
get
I
to a
feel like
point where it's hard to
I
come back?
I feel like if I was like in that director's shoes, or casting director, and you were like you couldn't stop crying over something, I would feel like, wow, like he's really like in this character's shoes. Like,
What
this
if
is
I
not
told you I did that and they didn't hire me? I could not stop crying through the rest of the audition. I couldn't stop. And they did like the audition part first, and I just couldn't stop through the rest of the questions, and they didn't hire
wow.
me.
That's
I don't know.
see that's interesting to me, because I feel like I would be like, you can't stop crying, okay? Maybe we have to work on some things that will like snap you. You know what I mean? Like train your mind, like
Right.
what needs to be said or done for you to train your mind to like stop at a certain point, because you're not supposed to be crying in that next sentence. But I also feel like,
Right.
I mean, when you say Heath Ledger, I mean, he's amazing, amazing, and all of us would love to know, like, where did he go to like
But
go too far?
is that too far? Is that a depth that most actors maybe shouldn't wander into?
Right. I think it could be dangerous. Honestly, I think some certain things can be very dangerous, because you're not you anymore. You know what I mean? When you
Right. You're
start,
not you anymore. Right.
yeah,
Like that's the thing about being an actor that's weird. Like, cause I drove home once with a neck tattoo. Now I don't have one, but I drove home with a neck tattoo from a character, and this character is a killer. And I'm saying to myself, oh, I can do anything I want. I'm saying I'm so badass. Like, and whoa, my God, dude, you're not that guy anymore. Like, you know, like that's happened
that's
to
what you
me.
need,
Like,
a person who grounds you. A person who
yes.
grounds you. You
What do
walk in the
you
door.
do when you're driving home and you're not
Yeah.
grounded in between that character and your significant other? What do you do there?
Right? Like, that's kind of funny, but it's kind of like interesting too, because it's like you go do something bad, and the police are saying like, "Oh, you're arrested for you could." Well, I'm an actor, you know, like it
I'm
could
an
be
actor.
Yeah, can we use that as an excuse of like why I did what I did in that moment because my mind was not set right? But do you also feel like, here's another thing, do you also feel like it could be the production's responsibility?
No,
Like
no, not at all.
knowing that you're an
Yeah,
actor and you're leaving the set in character?
I don't think it's the production's responsibility.
Okay.
No, I don't. I think I think the production. I think they want you to be that way. I think they would love it. I mean, could you imagine if I, and God forbid, like, let's say I got arrested and I was like, I'm an actor. And then they'd be like, actor gets arrested. And then I go on the news and they're like, this movie. And then all of a sudden everybody cares, you know? The controversy all of a sudden generates ticket sales.
They used it for marketing purposes.
No, they didn't. But what if they did, right? Then I would feel like those are my people. If they're marketing, if they use it for marketing, that's my people.
Yeah.
My background is marketing. My background is sales. So that's what I do or did before becoming a full-time actor. Starving artist, let's say, not necessarily full-time actor.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm a full-time actor, but starving artist, really. So we don't have a whole lot more time. So let's go back to just a few more things. Let's touch again once more on coffee breaks because that's why we're here. And you're going to play the yard sale mom, which we really didn't discuss. And I don't know if I interact with you or not. I can't remember. I do interact a lot at the yard sale scene. So it's fairly significant scene. You know, as you know, John Lair, the original Geico caveman, he's also in that scene. So it's quite a big deal. So tell us, without maybe potentially giving away any spoilers, can you tell us anything about that, your character?
Well, I only got to read some, like, very few things of my character, but a piece of it, like really kind of cracked me up because I was like, is this the world kind of laughing at what I do in my personal life?
You related to some of it.
Yeah.
So tell us, can you talk about that at all? Like, how did you relate to it without giving away this?
Well, I mean, one funny comment that was made before getting this, I was staying with someone very temporary, and she is talking to one of her friends, Michelle, and she goes, yeah, Francesca has like enough stuff to be doing a yard sale like for the rest of her life.
Nice.
And I just started laughing so hard when she made that comment. And she was being like serious about it, you know, and I'm like, she has no clue. I have upgraded my life way more than doing yard sales, you know, but
I moved on to Etsy.
But I feel like there's a connection here. That's why, like, auditioning for it, like, inside, like, when I read, I was like, okay, let me read this, you know, and I just sat down and I said, okay, I got like 2 lines, but let me read the whole entire thing, okay? Oh my God, this is so funny. This is just
right.
Like, I'm like, you know, I don't know if they really want me to laugh at that part, but it literally, like, it seriously made me laugh because I just said, you know what? This was meant for me. And that's how I feel like a connection. That's also, I was like, thank you for thinking of me, because now, like, inside, I'm like, I can really be that character because I probably am that character somewhere in my personal life.
Right. So again, the personal life, the whole method acting thing, it's amazing. See, if you're right for the part, you're right for it. So if you're not, maybe you're not. I mean, that's how I have to look at it.
So does that mean if I want to be like casted for, you know, like you said, the badass character, I need to like wear clothes and be like a badass to attract that?
Yes. You definitely have to reflect that in your headshots. Yes.
No more yard sales. No, I'm just kidding. I love you.
You definitely have to, if you listen, but if you want to be the badass character, then be it, right? Like, just be it. Like, because who you are is what comes out, right? Like that's my thing. So I'm trying to be not the bad guy. However, in film, I'm always the bad guy. So for me, it's not working too well. Oh, thank you. I'm the charming bad guy.
Yeah, you're like the was it 007 type of like charming. Yeah.
Now we're talking 007, but I'm like not the good 007. They're going to cast me as the 007 who gets killed. They'll be like, 007 dies for the first time, and it's going to be me. A horrible death on film. My mother, this is a classic quote from my mother, is, Jason, you know, you were fine, but I don't like that kind of movie because I die and I'm horrible. Like I'm the horrible guy. I don't mean I'm a horrible actor, but I'm a horrible guy in every movie. So,
Yeah.
so Coffee Breaks is finally my chance to be that charming person you think I am.
Yeah, exactly. And then,
Thank
you know
you.
what? And you know what though? Also, we have to remember, because I'm tying Coffee Breaks into this too, is
Yes.
we might be right for the part also, but also you have to think of, like, as an actor, we're doing things or saying things that we never really do in normal life.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that's what inspired me. Like what I did is probably something that I wouldn't really say to someone, or the way I said it in
Right.
in garage sale, you know. But I'm thinking in my head, like, there's a piece of me, there's something inside of me that would like to say something in a certain way, but so I'm gonna do that, and that's what I'm gonna go for. So
right.
remember,
So I recently
we're
read
playing parts that we would love to be in real life, but we're not. Okay.
we would. I don't know. Yeah, it's a precarious situation for sure, you know. And I read this thing that where, you know, because I like to be directed. I like to be told. I like to be, you know, okay, do it this way. We really like that. Keep that, but do it this way. You know, I like to be directed. And for me, I feel that's good. Like you were talking about constructive criticism. But I read this thing where it was like, actors are not puppets. They don't just go out there and do what the director says. They need to create. And I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, so tell the people, because like I said, unfortunately we have to wrap up. I've really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you.
I know.
So,
I was the one who was a little late. Sorry.
oh, that's okay. That's okay. You know, I'm glad you joined. You were wonderful to be here, to fill in last minute. You know, you stepped in. You were amazing. I really appreciate. Like you said, you gotta take those opportunities when they present themselves, and I'm really grateful you did.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like, that typical me, old me, would have been like, it's not planned. Can we plan it? And this time I was like, no, we're gonna make it work.
I love it. You know what? Current me is we got to plan it. Like I'm like, yeah, you know what? I know it's 3 hours from now, but can we do it tomorrow? Like, and you know what? Maybe I should take your advice and just go for it when it happens. You know,
when you have a nice window, okay? Like
when you have a good window.
Yeah, especially like for professionals, and too, we know, like, we got to properly plan this and all that, you know. But also, like, spare the moment is also exciting too.
You're right. You're right. Spur of the moment is exciting. I love that. I think we should leave the audience with that. Spur of the moment is very exciting. We should encourage people to just go for it, right? So let me tell you, one more thing real quick. Can you tell the audience where they can find you? You know, if you want to share Instagrams or Facebooks or YouTube channels, can you do that for us? Can you tell us how to get in touch?
Yeah, I mean, here I am on Facebook. I believe you can see my name on Facebook. It's Francesca Esker. You might find like another Francesca too on Facebook. That's my fan page as well. It's Francesca Esker Model. That's my fan page. I'm also on Instagram a lot. So Instagram is official_Francesca and _. So, which I know it's hard to like spell my name. I can always type it in the comments afterwards, you know, so people can know how to properly, you know, write my name out. But yeah,
that's a good idea.
Like, I'm on other things, but I think I spend more time on those two outlets. Yeah. Okay.
And any thing else? Any projects coming up you want to promote?
Any other projects? I mean, probably there's like a few of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, tomorrow. Well, today I had to get tested for tomorrow. Tomorrow is like a really cool experience. It's a show called Clash of the Cover Bands.
Yeah, man, with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you on that?
No. I'm not on it, but I'm there. My presence.
No. That's what I mean. Are you in the pit? Are you in the audience?
Yeah.
You're in the audience.
It's so much fun. So much super fun.
That's really cool. I saw that. That's really cool. Go on. Yeah. So that's cool. That's the perks of living in LA, right?
I mean, you guys are like Coffee Breaks is like the other project that I'm like also promoting, because I'm like really super excited that's happening. Right. There's probably like other stuff I'm not even thinking about. I mean, there's a possible, there's another pageant that I'm working on. It's called Perfect Lady. And I love it because I'm like so far from what the world thinks is perfect. So I just love how that opportunity came, and to really showcase that, you know, what Perfect Lady is we can't put perfection to a certain type of woman, but we might be going to London for
Wow.
whoever wins goes to London for London Fashion Week. So I guess like those are like my top like few things that's happening. I mean,
Well, that's remarkable.
stuff that I work on. Yeah.
You know, and I'm a fan of women. They're all perfect in my mind. You know, they're all
You're
wonderful.
so
So,
I love
so
that.
that's an apropos title. You know, it's very good. I've enjoyed talking to you. Let's give some shout outs to Coffee Breaks right quick. Thank you to Warren Madden, our producer. I call him the producer, but he's really like the all-purpose guy. You know, he's the producer. Let's just face it, he's the producer.
Yeah.
So director Matt Sly, writer Tracy Simpson, our co-stars Liz Fletcher, Sarah Christine, John Lair, Jerry Suprian, Wesley Ure, Kathy Coleman. Warren's going to kill me if I miss somebody. And Francesca, you've been fantastic. Thank you for joining me on Coffee Breaks Thursday.
I know.
We'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye.